How do you keep yourself away from the abundance of distractions that are online? How do we do it? One of the biggest culprits keeping us distracted as online business owners is the social media. We're up against what I would call psyops. My spider senses started going off. What's wrong with that picture? Is this done on purpose to keep people engaged? And we go down the rabbit hole. Not only are we becoming deeply engrossed as a consumer on social media, but we're also thinking about it when we're off social media. So what do we do? What do we do on social media? Well, what we have to do...
Welcome to the John McLauchlan podcast.
This is the John McLauchlan podcast. My name's John McLauchlan and welcome to this episode. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to keep yourself focused, how to eliminate distractions from our daily method of operation as online business owners. Let me tell you, it's a difficult process sometimes because what I'm going to do in this podcast, I'm going to tell you what we're up against when it comes to staying focused. We know as online business owners, we need to leverage social media and we need to leverage in a right way. And you know what it's like when sometimes you think, okay, I'm going to go and check my posts. I'm going to interact with my followers, interact with my people on social media. Before you know it, you've been scrolling through for half an hour and you haven't really done anything. You've just been scrolling through and looking at what's going on, and you get absorbed in that social media life and you become a consumer of information as opposed to a producer, and we need to be producers all the time. So distractions, number one, social media. And I've just explained what it's like when you go onto Facebook or whatever social media you're on. Before you know it, you're lost. What we're up against right now, and you tell me if you agree with this or not, we're up against what I would call psyops operations. Psyops is psychological operations where people are drawn into certain things using the techniques of almost like psychological warfare, which is what it is. One of the great examples I'm going to give you right now, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my screen where you've got the 4 astronauts from SpaceX, and this picture was taken before the rescue mission launched. I think this was one of the aborted launches. And I'm scrolling through Facebook like you do, and I've got a kind of interest in space and that sort of thing. I'm not going to say if it's real or not or whatever. That's a podcast for another day. But I came across this particular picture, and from my filmmaking perspective and from a photography perspective, my subconscious started clicking in. My spider senses started going off, and it was like, what's going on here? Why are you looking at that as... What's wrong with that picture? And I looked at it, and what struck me was the lighting was wrong. The lighting on that is, to my experience, a studio lit setup. Now, you tell me if I'm right or tell me if I'm wrong. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I've got no evidence either way. It's just my own perspectives, but that's what struck me. And then I came across the landing where a lot of people were saying it was fake, and there was all kinds of other kind of imagery from space that looked really crap. I mean, Jerry Anderson would do a better job back in the 60s, okay, with a few strings. It was really poor. Or it looked really poor. Now my question about that is, number one, whether space is real and all that sort of thing, and the moon landing is not. We're not talking about that. Okay, maybe that's another podcast. But what we're talking about here is this done on purpose to keep people engaged? Is it done on purpose? And whether that's real or not, are they putting CGI in there just to engage people, to say it's CGI? Because if they wanted to persuade the public that it was real, if it wasn't, they could do a much better job than what's been put out right now. Okay, SpaceX, multi-billion, trillion, whatever dollar company it is, they could have the best Hollywood producers producing the best stuff. Okay, that would look better than what's been put out right now. So are they doing it to engage the public, to keep the funding coming in for SpaceX? I don't know. I've no idea. Okay, But what I'm saying is it serves as a huge distraction for a lot of people. A lot of people are so distracted looking at this stuff. So you've got to be aware of this. And if you want to engage your audience on social media, then what you do is you post something that isn't factually correct, but you put it out as correct. So for example, if you mix black paint with red paint, so if you mix black paint with white paint, you'll get a wonderful shade of purple. Now if you do that, how many people are going to come back and say, well actually, I'll just sort of a little tell you, you don't get purple, you actually get grey. Okay, and just see what happens, because that's what people do. People love to be corrected. They love to tell you their qualifications, and there's plenty of people who video people who have looked at the footage and gone, this is wrong and that's wrong, and they've done videos and they've gone right into it. But it's a massive distraction for us as online business owners, affiliate marketers, network marketers, and it's not good for us. It's not good for us, because if we look at that and we go down the rabbit hole, okay, then not only are we becoming deeply engrossed as a consumer on social media, but we're also thinking about it when we're off social media, because your brain will be trying to think about the solutions. As an online business owner, you're going to want to get access to some of the best information you can find, and that's why I put together the Online Business Roadmap. It's all about setting up your online business in the right way to get everything set up and completed in a weekend. In Module 1, getting off to a fast start. In Module 2, we talk about the 3 essential elements to get into profits quickly. So Module 3 is one of the big takeaways with this course. We have our residential behavioural scientist, Jules Reed, and she talks about most of the common things that people struggle with. Imposter syndrome, about yes, you do have things to share as a beginner, procrastination, staying focused, and achieving success as a new or an existing online business owner. Go to the link below, click it, and you can get access to this course for absolutely free. In addition to that as well, you'll also get access to all the free courses within McLauchlan Academy. These are not free courses in disguise. You will get a ton of value from these courses. So go to the link below, follow the instructions, and I'll see you in the inside. Back to the show. Now you think about the other thing as well. That's come out a few weeks ago. Or was it last week? The pyramids. The scans under the pyramids. What did it reveal? It revealed spookiness, okay? And all those tube things going down. I mean, obviously there had to be some foundations. I mean, it's massive. But again, it starts off another separate debate, and the pattern is the same pattern as SpaceX, where you get the yays and the nays and the whole conjecture in between, and you've got to be so careful that you don't fall down that rabbit hole as well. Okay, so what do we do? What do we do on social media? Well, what we have to do, we have to be disciplined with what we do, and we have to have our daily method of operation set. Now, the first thing I do in terms of social media, I've got a time frame on how much time I go into social media. Does it work? Not all the time, no, because sometimes I'll be scrolling through and it'll be like, what am I doing? It's almost like you get hypnotized in social media, and then before you know it, what am I actually doing? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be updating my profile, or I'm supposed to be engaging with my audience. So you've got to be really careful with that. I use a little app called Let's Goal. It's a personal development and a time-saving app, which just keeps me on track, because what it does, it lends itself to crossing things off. So I'll say, okay, if I get online at say 6:30 in the morning, which sometimes happens, then I can do 15 minutes of engagement, and then I can check it off, and then it'll tell me, well done, you've checked it off, and that gets me into the flow. Okay, so that's what you want to be doing. Distractions are everywhere. Okay, I've got my phone here. Okay, it's next to me because I tether my phone for the internet, and if I don't turn off notifications, if I don't turn off the actual volume, it's a constant and an utter pain in the arse distraction. It really is. Constantly dinging, constantly pinging, and if I don't turn those off, subconsciously my arm goes out. What's that? Oh no, what are you doing? Why are you checking your emails on your phone when you've got it on your computer? Okay, weird. But that's what happens. So turn off notifications on your phone. Turn the sound off. Okay. And I know a lot of people go, well, I've got elderly parents, so I can't turn the sound off. Well, think of a solution. Okay, think of a solution for that. Maybe have a separate ringtone for your elderly parents. And the other thing that I did last year was I turned my phone to black and white, and that has a real big impact as well. Now, if you go into a pub or if you go into a bar, how many people, when you actually take your head up and start looking around, as not many people do, I like to do that. How many people just sat on the phones like that, scrolling through the phones, thinking they're out being sociable, all right? And it's because people are getting this dopamine hit from this wonderful, all these lovely colours and these flashing lights and this promise of wonderment. It's just another way to be distracted, and it's a psyops situation again. And if you put your phone on black and white, it doesn't have such a dramatic impact on the dopamine. Okay, so that's a big tip as well. So 2 tips for today. Put your phone on black and white and post untruths on social media or things that you know are wrong for more engagement. Okay, because people will engage. Try it. Okay, try it. And we've got to be so careful. There are so many things that we can get done when we're not distracted. And apparently somebody came out with some stat. It sounds a little bit too far to the one side, but they say once you're distracted, it takes about 20-something minutes, 21 minutes or something, to get back into the flow. Okay, so if you think about you're distracted more than once in any hour period, that's your hour gone. Okay, 40 minutes gone trying to get back into focus. So if you're constantly distracted with phones and with social media, then you're never really going to get any progress done. What do we do? Okay, number one, I told you about the phones. And we need to have our daily method of operation down. Okay, that's why I said I use Let's Goal. And it just, okay, what do I do? Log into Let's Goal, log into all the things that I need to log into. Number one, do this. Right, do it. Number two, do this, do it. Okay, done. And that's how I do my day. Okay, that's how I progress with my day. Next thing I want to talk about is more important than probably any of them for developing an online business and for developing anything. And it's called discipline. Okay, and it's something that not a lot of people have when it comes to developing an online business. They're very disciplined when it comes to their work environment, and they're very disrespectful of their work environment because they don't want to do it. They want to go full-time in the business, and yet they're not disciplined in their business. So it makes sense to be more disciplined in your business that's going to fulfill your lifestyle, as opposed to being disciplined in your job. Okay, I would say be disciplined in both, because both are valuable. Okay, I don't disrespect jobs. I think jobs are great. Okay, but discipline is where it's at. Now, where a lot of people blur the lines between the two, they blur the lines between motivation and discipline. And you know, and I know, that most people who come into the online industry, online business industry, they'll get started with a motivation to do something, and that motivation generally lasts about 2 or 3 months before the motivation goes. And if you don't develop the discipline to, it doesn't matter about if you know anything. I don't know anything about the business, so it's all right for you know what you're doing. No, I've got a bit more discipline. Okay, I mean, sometimes I don't have any discipline at all, and I spin my wheels for a couple of days and I go, what have you done for 2 days? You've done nothing. Useless. Okay, but you've got to be disciplined. And it's so important when you first get in the business to set out what strategy you're going to use to develop your business, and think about the things that you don't like doing. And most people don't like doing videos. Most people don't like being on video or behind a camera, and they would rather do something else. Would you agree? Would you put me a comment just below if you agree with that statement? Now, here's a tip I learned it years ago from starting karate. Okay, and discipline, pain is good when in karate. When you're learning something new, pain is good. Okay, and that's what you learn from that. I saw a video with David Goggins, and he said, or he was asked the question, why do you run in the morning? Or what do you do in the morning? So I get up and I go for a minimum of a 12-mile run. It takes about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours sometimes. He does it because it's the worst thing he can think of. He doesn't like it, so he does it. Okay, and that's what I would say to you, is that if you don't like doing videos or the things that are going to get you over the line, the things that are going to develop your business, you need discipline to do those things. Okay, so do it. And what it does, magic happens. You get in front of a camera, you don't want to be there, you're up an hour early for work doing a video, and you do it and you go, well, that wasn't too bad. And the more you do videos, the more you're going to get used to them, the more it's going to anchor that positive affirmation to doing videos. And you're going to go to work in the car knowing that you've done a video or knowing that you've done something productive in your business, and it's going to transform the way you see your business. And it's not just about developing that discipline, but it's about developing the confidence and also developing that daily method of operation that gets you to the next step and the next step and the step after that. And it's so important to develop that daily method of operation, okay? But it all starts by being distracted, because what would happen if you decided to get up an hour earlier for work to do your business, and you end up scrolling Facebook and go, oh God, I've got to work now. All you're going to do is anchor the failure to your online business, and you're going to quit, okay, after that initial motivation has run out, okay? So get disciplined, do the tasks that you don't like doing, and get them out of the way first. And you'll see a massive difference in your business, and you'll see a massive difference in what you do, okay? So it is so important to get rid of those distractions, let me tell you, because as a full-time online business owner, I sometimes think, well, it's all right, I've got all day. I can do it later. And as soon as you start thinking that way, you're already failing, and you're already failing yourself. So if you've got a job, you've got to be even more disciplined to get those jobs out of the way, to get those tasks out of the way. And like I said, get a productivity app, and the one I use is called Let's Go. Go and get it, okay? And I'm not trying to sell you it. I'm just trying to get you on board with doing the things that you need to do, and give you the apps that you can use. And the reason I like Let's Go, because it's low cost, it's $10 a month, and you can also share it with your family. So if you can say to your son or your daughter or your missus or your husband or whoever, right, you want to get more organised, use this, and it's all the same price. Okay, so you can I think you should share it about 7 times. It's brilliant. And you know exactly what needs to be done. So you could even say, right, shopping list or to-do list or video list, and all these things, you cross them all off. It's got affirmations on there, it's got vision boards on there, personal development, and also productivity. Go and get it. It is so important, and I can't stress that enough. And I can't stress the battle that is going on between the professionals on social media keeping you engaged, and also us as online business owners trying to make progress with our business, whether we're just starting or whether we're scaling. We've got to be so disciplined in every respect. So I hope this podcast has given you some insight into not just being disciplined, but what we're up against in terms of the PSYOPs and what you need to do to make progress in your business. And I always say the best way to make progress in your business is to take the shortcut and to do the most effective marketing platforms, the most effective strategies, which in my book is doing video. It may not be your gig, it may not be your thing, but video is what people want. Video has been what people want to consume for the last, crikey, I don't know, when did YouTube start? 2008? So that's getting on for, 17 years or so? People want video, and people want video shorts, and there are so many easy ways now to produce video shorts. I'm not talking about AI, because when it comes to doing video, do your own videos to camera and use AI to edit. Use AI to give you the shorts. Okay, that is a productivity hack that you want to be using, and use AI to get that distribution out there. Okay, but the only way you're going to get your distribution out there is by sitting in front of the camera and doing the work, not scrolling through Facebook. And the other thing is, I'll just leave you with this, is we can spend time on unproductive tasks. And sometimes we can anchor those unproductive tasks to thinking we're being productive when we're not. So your family and your friends and the people, or maybe even yourself, are going to go, well, I spent 2.5 hours yesterday on my business thinking I was being productive when I actually wasn't. And again, being disciplined and having a list of things to do and knowing what you need to do to get you to where you want to go is so important in this industry. Because if you don't, you're going to end up looking at cat videos, and you're going to wake up and you go, where am I now? Oh, a year's gone by and I'm still looking at cat videos, because it happens. Okay. Anyway, I hope this podcast has helped. Let me know in the comments if it has. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a thumbs up if you got some value from it, and do me a favor and subscribe. I think I've got about 72% of people right now who are not subscribed. So subscribing to the channel really helps things out. I really appreciate it. As Stephen Bartlett says, it helps more than you know. And it really does. Okay. And he's got millions of subscribers, so I could do with a few more. So yeah, thanks very much. And we'll see you on the next episode of the John McLauchlan podcast. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.
To hear all the John McLauchlan podcasts, please visit johnmclaughlin.com. JOHNMCLAUCHLAN.com.